guys, it's Krista here with Outgrowing, and today we are making garlic powder. So I wanted to touch base with you guys. I didn't make a video last week. I posted one that I'd made a week before because I wasn't feeling very good last week. I had a bit of a head cold going on. It kind of kicked my butt for a couple days. And so I just took the week. I took Tuesday off work, and then I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but it took it pretty easy every night. And when I got here on the weekend, we had Mark's daughter with us, and I just kind of laid low because it took me pretty much the whole week to feel back to myself. Anyways, but I'm kind of wanting to challenge I'm giving myself a bit of a challenge here. And so the challenge is that in 1 month, it is our Christmas farmers market back where I live. And I would like to go into it with some of our products that we make. And so my challenge is that it's in 1 month, and I would like to make some gift boxes. I did up a few last year for friends just to kind of see how they would go over. And in the gift boxes, there was a small jar of garlic powder, a small jar of pickled garlic, and then a jar of pickled jalapeños. And those are some of our famous things that people really enjoy. Our family and friends, they all really love those things up. So I was thinking, maybe I should do up some of those gift boxes and do up some garlic powder, because I've been having so many people ask if they can buy garlic powder. And I have not had time to make garlic powder because it is labor intensive, you guys. It is, oh my goodness. It's a project. So I wanted to touch base with you guys. It's my little challenge. I'm going to start the goal would be to have 50 gift boxes and then 50 8-ounce jars of the garlic powder. So that is the goal. And then if I have extra time to do some extra jars of pickled jalapenos, maybe some extra jars of pickled garlic, but because the garlic is so labor intensive, because you have to peel the paper off of them, and that is what makes it a serious project. If you could just snap your fingers and all the papery bits be off the garlic, well, then you could make tons of amazing things with them, and it wouldn't take forever. But it takes forever to get the papers off, especially when you grow them fresh. It's not hard if you get garlic from the store. It's pretty easy to take that paper off. But we're talking fresh garlic. This just out of the garden this summer. It is only a couple months out of the ground. It is fresh. So the paper, it's sticky on there. And then there's this fine little layer of the last paper that was about to form. And it's not really that formed yet. It's very thin. It sticks on there like crazy. So anyway, so that's what makes the garlic powder the most tedious, labor-intensive job. But you cannot beat the garlic powder. It is unbelievable. The flavor is potent. It is fabulous. So anyways, you guys, so that is my goal to do. Luckily, my friend runs a farmer's market. I actually started that farmer's market with her years ago, and had to step back from a lot of things that was happening in my life. I was going through a divorce, and had to step away from a lot of stuff because I was feeling ultra overwhelmed. And the farmer's market was becoming one of those things where it was just too much for me at the time. So I had to let her go. But they've done a fantastic job of keeping her going. And I've always been there for them. I support it 100%. And anything they need help with, I've offered. No matter what, I support them, and they bounce ideas off me. So anyways, oh yes, I talked to you guys about that when I did the farmer's market in the summertime. Anyhow, so it would be awesome to get back for it. It's always lots of fun. There's loads of people that come to it. They fit about 35 vendors in there, which is amazing. So that's my goal here, you guys, is to get these gift boxes and things done. So I've sourced spice containers and boxes and things like that off Uline. that is a wholesale company for all kinds of products. And that I think is out in BC. Anyways, just order stuff online. That's where I've gotten stuff in the past. So I've sourced that stuff out, and that's awesome. So yeah, basically what I need to do is I need to get cracking and get this garlic on the go so that we can start making a ton of garlic powder. So what I do to make this is, it's a bit of a process, but what I do is I break the garlic apart, as you guys can see. Well, I don't know if you guys can see me actually. So I'm breaking the garlic apart, and then I take a knife and I just on the end where the roots would have been, I just slice it just as close to that as possible. You don't want to waste any garlic, you know. And then I peel that off. I peel the skin off, and there's a fine layer of skin that's always attached to it, just because these are so fresh, and you got to peel that off. Once I'm done doing that, then I give them a good washing. I wash them, and make sure that they are all clean, and get as much of that little papery, skin off of it before you pop it in the dehydrator. The other thing too is when you do put it in the dehydrator, it does come off of them, which is cool. And so you can easily kind of clean them up. It's not the end of the world if they're on there. I mean, whatever. It just, you don't want lots of that on there, I don't think, but I don't think it makes a big difference. I've definitely ground up some of that papery skin before. Anyway, so then once you're done washing them, dry them up really good on the counter, whatever, pat them dry. And then you want to, get as much of that moisture off, because our goal is to dehydrate them. And then you want to slice them in the food processor. And so in the past, I've not sliced them, and it takes frickin' ever. But this year, I'm slicing those things, and it's helped immensely. You think, oh, garlic is pretty small, it shouldn't take forever, but fresh garlic is so juicy. It is so amazing. If you've never had fresh grown garlic from somebody local, do find it and buy it. You will never go back. It is amazing. It is unreal. It's crunchy like an apple. It's so good. Anyways, but because of that, it's so moist, so it takes forever to dehydrate them if you don't slice them. So you want to slice them up in your food processor as thick as you want them to be. I can't remember what I set mine to when I did this batch this year. So I did a batch already once, just a small batch. I was kind of just sitting around visiting, so I thought, oh, well, I'll start peeling some garlic, and I did. I peeled some, and it filled up this bowl once it was all sliced, and then it made about just under half of this jar. So I'm going to say over a cup, probably a cup and a half of garlic powder. So that's not too bad. Like, garlic is a bit surprising when you do grind it up. It does surprise you at how much there actually is. So, but you guys, I mean, that would fill up, I don't know, two 8-ounce jars. Like, to do up a ton of garlic powder is going to be an insane feat for me to try to do in 1 month. And honestly, I had no time to even start before this. Like, I just haven't had time. We have been, trying to get everything ready in the yard and everything, because we've got snow already. I'll take you guys out there in a different video here. I'm going to do another video tomorrow with feeding the cattle and stuff like that, because our cows have come home, and so they're here, and a big part of our winter, or our winter, consists of feeding them every day, and they're home. Now that the custom graze cattle are gone, we've brought ours back, and now we are feeding them. So I'm going to do a video about that, but I don't know how I got sidetracked on that, but anyway, so that's the whole deal with making garlic powder. So once you have it sliced, you line it in your dehydrator, and when I did it this last time, it took about 10 or so hours to dehydrate it, and I started it off on a low heat. So this time, I'm going to crank it right up. I'm going to, not as high as it can go, but I'll see how long it takes. I'm hoping if I can get like a full dehydrator of them done in 8 hours, that's not bad. And then like this one that I did, it only filled up like maybe 3 trays or 4 trays, and I think it holds 10 trays in there, so I can load it up pretty good if I can get lots done. So I don't know how much that'll produce if I do that, but as you can see, it's a lot of work to get garlic powder. So when people are like, hey, can I buy some garlic powder, it's like, I have not had time to even think about garlic powder. We've been so busy, so it's too hard to do that. So if I can do like one pop-up a year, with garlic powder, and people can stock up on it and keep it, because I mean it'll last you. We've had garlic powder. I mean, I made tons of it last year for us because we go through so much of it. Yeah, and we have fresh garlic. I also dice up the garlic and I freeze it flat on a cookie tray, and then we have like diced garlic. I freeze it in, and then I put it in a Ziploc bag and roll it up and put her in the freezer and use that for freshly minced garlic. I do that once the garlic starts to you can tell it's maybe going to start to sprout soon. That's what I do with that when it gets close. So then we have that, and that's what lasted us. That's the one thing that lasted us until the garlic was ready. We even maybe have a tiny little bit of it left. But yeah, it's been awesome. So you guys, and then, okay, I keep getting sidetracked. That's me. I'm just a babbler. Anyway, so once your garlic is dehydrated, then I grind it up in a coffee grinder. So, just a small little handheld one. I will probably have to get a different coffee grinder, because this is gonna be a lot of garlic grinding going on. And when I ground up this stuff here the other day, I could tell it was kind of getting a little bit, just didn't have as much jam. It took a little while to kind of grind it up, where when I first started using it a few years back, it just ground that garlic up like in a hot second. So I can tell I'll probably have to get another one, especially if I plan to do this much garlic grinding. The thing's probably going to crap out on me anyways. So yeah, so that's, and then you grind it up and then you put it in your containers and you're good to go. And honestly, you cannot go wrong with it. It is so delicious and fabulous. So I have one quick story before I'm going to shut her down for a minute. I'm going to fill up my bucket. That's what my goal is, fill up this bucket. Then when I'm slicing it up and getting it in the food processor and all that stuff, I'll take you guys along. But I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, which I absolutely love this story. So last year, I gave out some of these gift boxes to our friends that had the pickled garlic powder, and pickled jalapeños in it. They're just small little boxes and small little containers of the garlic powder and pickled garlic. Anyways, and so we gave it to one of our friends, and he tells the husband, tells Mark, "Oh my God, that garlic powder is like awesome." He goes, I was putting it all over my popcorn. And so he in the past hasn't been able to eat garlic powder from the store or whatever. Like he's just, because it has always given him heartburn. So fortunately, our garlic powder did not give him any heartburn. So he's able to use it as a seasonal. I'm sure they use it on many things, but he was like loving it up so much that he was putting it on his popcorn, which I just think is so awesome. So I tell everybody that story. It just cracks me up. I'm like, I just imagine him just like garlic powder, like dusty, just kind of puffing everywhere. You stay, no. Stay down. No. I could just imagine it like being like his hand and like garlic powder dust going everywhere. So anyways, that's the little story about that. I will catch you guys in a bit here when I'm slicing up the garlic and getting it ready to put in the dehydrator. So we'll check you guys in a bit here. Hey, you little stinker. Bob, you can't come up here. We're working with food. It's food time. You cannot come up here. Nobody wants kitty hair in their food. Nobody wants kitty hair in their food. We love you. Okay, so you guys, my bucket was full. That's a lot of garlic. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a quick wash. Everything a good hearty wash. And one of my all-time favorite things to use when I'm washing almost anything is sometimes just a little bit of vinegar. Oops. Oh my gosh, it's burning underneath my fingers from the garlic. Oh, whew. Oh my gosh, that's awful. From peeling the garlic, it kind of goes underneath your fingers a bit. Oh my goodness me, it's burning bad. Whew. Whew. Yowza. Okay. Didn't expect that to happen. Oh my goodness. Okay, the garlic under the fingers is burning ultra bad. Whew. Okay, I've never had that happen before. I wonder why. I have been cleaning garlic for like a couple hours now, at very least. So, okay. Anyway, I'm just gonna rub my hand in there, and that kind of helps to get that last little papery skin off. Oh, my fingers are finally feeling back to normal. Ah, that was crazy. Okay. And I'm just going to put a little bit of vinegar over everything. I feel like this just gives everything a nice, good clean. Just a little bit of vinegar. And rinsing water as well. So, that's what I do to get those last little papers off. Give them a nice clean. I'm a little anal about that stuff in this house just because we do have pets, and although they don't typically climb on furniture, I like to make sure everything is always sanitized and really, really clean because, well, I don't want to eat food with cat food hair in it and dog hair, so I just make sure everything's very clean. So my equipment, my kitchen, all that good stuff. So that's basically what I do with that, and then I'll let it dry, and then we'll put it in the food processor, you guys. Hey friends, so I did a video on this part yesterday when I did my first batch, and there was no audio on it. Sometimes my microphone mixes up a bit, and the audio doesn't record. So I thought, well, I'm doing my second batch here today, so I thought I might as well quickly tune in with you guys and show you the process with the food processor. Anyways, I've got a few started. Anyway, so I use the slicing disc or blade, I guess you could say. This is what it looks like in the food processor. This is just a KitchenAid food processor. And I set it, there's little lines that you can set it to. I set it to the second line, if you guys can see that. And that worked like a dream yesterday because my garlic was done in 7 hours, which is the fastest I've done so far. Okay, and so yeah, so you put them down this little tube. Here, you put a little pressure with the cylinder. You put a little pressure on it to push it down, and they come out, pretty good. There are a few pieces that don't come out like slices. Those, those you put, because I don't have the screened ones, I just have these ones right now. I can get screens. I haven't gotten them yet. That's my bad. So what I do is on the very bottom, I put one piece, one tray with parchment paper on it with all the little bits that fall through. So that's how I do that, you guys. And it you know what, it honestly dried like an absolute dream yesterday. So I'm pumped about that. So anyways, I'll just show you guys quickly here what I do. Set it to low. Toss them in there and push it down. Just so you get that nice slice. You can keep it off as well. Load it up, which sometimes I like to do because then you can load it nice and full. And then just push it down. And then you get those nice slices. Oh my gosh. Our house smells so crazy like garlic because it's been peeling garlic, dehydrating garlic, slicing garlic for 2 solid days now. So it smells, well, Mark said he could smell it outside yesterday from out front there. So that's kind of funny. Yeah, so anyways, and then like I did this, I washed these all up the same as yesterday. There's those little papery bits. And they're easy to come off, like you can kind of see that. They're easier to come off once they're a little bit wet, and so they honestly just kind of fall off them, so it works out pretty good. I mean, there's the odd one that kind of gets stuck on there and ends up being a part of your garlic powder, but whatever. Not the end of the world. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get touch base with you all in this with this part just because it didn't really work out pretty good yesterday. So I'm gonna keep on keeping on, you guys, and we'll check you in a bit. All right, you guys, so I don't know why, but my microphone has been messing up a little bit, and for whatever reason, it didn't get some of my audio from some of my video that I was doing. So that's kind of annoying. I know I need to get a new one. I just haven't even had a chance to really look and research into microphones, good ones, and ones that are good for outside specifically, because the majority of my filming is outside. But anyways, so I'm at the point now where I have the garlic in the dehydrator, so I just wanted to show you guys what it all looks like, how I have it all in there, and the racks and whatnot, and you guys can check it all out, and then we're just gonna keep on dehydrating. So I'll show you guys here quickly. So here we are. All the garlic is on the trays so far. It's sliced very thin. I put it in one layer, like only one layer. I don't try to stack it up too high because it'll just take longer to dehydrate. So one layer on each rack. I mean, they're not perfect, but you don't want them to be just, you want to still see all those holes throughout your rack. So, and then yeah, so on the bottom here, I have one with parchment paper and all the little teeny pieces that drop through. I leave that on the bottom because it'll catch any that do fall through there that are too small. So that's what's happening right now. The dehydrator is actually set at 160. I don't know what I was thinking when I said the temperature before. Anyways, can't really remember, but I was like, oh, it's probably at like 4 something. But no, we are not making a roast, Krista. We are dehydrating low and slow. So anyways, that was just a brain fart on my part. But anyhow, so we're going to go at the 160 here, maybe just a little less, maybe 150, and start with that. The last time I started them off pretty low at like 110. Took about 10 hours. Oh, here we go. 10 tray deluxe. There we go. Anyways, so I'm going to ramp it up a bit more and see if we can't get these done a little sooner. Because if I'm going to be making a ton of garlic powder, I need to get these things going on. So I'll check you guys when we are grinding. So here they are, and you can hear them. Like they crack, make a little cracking noise. They're not moist at all. They are dry. So these are all done. So yeah, so we'll get to grinding them so you guys can see how much powder it makes. Okay, so what I do is I take a handful of garlic, put it in, and you don't want to fill it past, there's gonna be a line on your grinder or whatever that's like, don't fill it past there. So I try not to fill it past, there's the metal, I try not to fill it past there. It just makes it easier for it to grind up. And honestly, we put it together like so, and you just, hold it till it, oh my gosh, it's getting out. Until it's all ground up. And when you can tell because it starts to sound less crunchy. The best way I can describe it. So once it starts to sound a little bit more smooth, then you know it's good to go. All right, you guys, so I have ground up all of the garlic powder, the garlic that we had today, with the exception of this little bit left. I filled the rest of this up, and I started to fill this up. We're gonna need a ton of it to fulfill the 100 jars of garlic powder that I'd like to fulfill. But yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions on a different grinder, or maybe there's one specific to garlic grinding, please drop it in the comment section, because I think I'm gonna have to replace this one sooner than later, because it's not meant for doing this amount of stuff. So anyway, so if you guys have liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have any comments, or if you guys have any suggestions, 2 things. Peeling garlic, how to make that a little bit easier. I could wear gloves, and I have tried to before, but because I use a knife, I always get little holes in them, and then they're like flopping around, and they're just not as good as getting in there with your finger. And grinding, to grind the garlic powder. Like, what is your suggestion? Do you have something that's better? Is there a specific grinder out there for garlic that I can use? And yeah, so that is gonna wrap it up for me, you guys. Actually, kind of in the meantime of all this, I got another dehydrator full of garlic going on. So I'm on my second batch of it this weekend, so that's great. And I have had a friend who has offered to help peel some garlic this week, so I'm going to take her a box of garlic home, so that is going to be amazing. Anyways, you guys, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Give me some tips and tricks and some comments, and make sure you subscribe, and we'll check you next time.